So I'm writing it on my notes, and I kind of forget who did we play. It was like Thursday. Who did we play?
Against the Los Angeles Rams. I wanted to call them the Lambs, but they're not playing like the Lambs right now. They're playing like the Rams.
You can call them the Lambs if the Niners win.
Yes. The LA Lambs.
For the win! Bogdanovich! The open Who gets the play? Are you? Goes for Bonga. Murray miracle to the playoffs.
Oh yeah, we did. Brian Robinson actually got the ball
Yeah.
a little bit. I'm like not for much, but I'm looking at the Bucs score right now. Okay. That's just to get your attention.
Sorry. I was getting some other
You
notes
have
up
broccoli
here.
in your teeth, by the way.
I do. This could be a great
Right
thumbnail.
here. Look at me. I think you're good. Do I have Oreo in my teeth?
No. I don't see
Okay.
it.
We want to look presentable.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm waiting on you.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready for this. Let's go. Maxi boy.
That's only my name on Instagram, okay?
Okay.
Because I think I need to put that instead of my real name. Anyway. Hello and welcome back to the Eastman Sport Report, your father-son coach-play podcast about the San Francisco 49ers and the Sacramento Kings. I'm your host, Max Eastman, joined once again by my co-host, Steven Eastman.
Hello, Max. Hello, everybody out there listening. It's great to be back in our podcasting studio. Welcome to the Eastman Sport Report podcasting studio.
And
With our lovely backgrounds.
lovely background.
That is real.
Sorry if we're a little bit late because it was Thursday, but we have a schedule for a reason because we don't have time in other parts of the week.
Yeah. Like Max. Max was busy last week.
You have a job.
Yeah, I have a job, so we somewhat scheduled Tuesday nights. Well, now when we get into basketball season, your basketball season, we'll have to see if we can keep doing Tuesday nights.
Yes. Might
cross that bridge when we get here.
It might fluctuate a little by that point, but that's like.
But we're trying to be consistent for our viewers out there. That we thank you for every one of our viewers. Again, like and subscribe. Again, we thank you for everybody viewing out there for our fun project, and hopefully you learned some stuff. Like I have tons of notes every week, and hopefully you learn something about the Niners or the Kings as we go through all of our notes, and you listen for my notes and Max's commentary. I know that's what everybody listens for.
One thing for the people out there who are hoping for Kings coverage, there isn't any news this week.
Well, we'll do some stuff at the end.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of stuff.
We have a little bit of stuff.
Maybe
so
10
like,
minutes worth at the end.
why don't we just knock it out right now? That's my thought.
No, let's do the Niners
Okay,
stuff
fine,
first.
fine.
We'll do Niners stuff first.
Fine, be like that.
Yes. Okay, so
First of all, I wasn't able to watch this game live because I was at a school retreat where I did not have, sort of access to internet, but not enough to stream a game on my phone.
And so I texted you.
So I'm like, oh, the Niners are going to play the Rams. Hopefully I can watch it. I try to watch it. Doesn't work. So I go, okay, fine. And like we said in the last podcast that we uploaded, we're like, oh yeah, we're going to lose. Like,
yeah,
it's
we both picked the Rams to win. The odds were Niners were an 8.5 underdog.
Yes.
When our family does a picks of the week thing. The Rams had a 92% or 92% of the people nationwide were picking the Rams. So people are predicting the Rams to win. So
wait, won? I get texted at like what time did you like?
I don't know, it might have been 10 or 10:30.
10:30, and it's like you texted me like, how was camp? And he's like, oh hey, by the way, the Niners won in overtime. What?
He's like, what? And I was debating, do I give a long explanation of what actually happened, or he's just going, what? Because what, they actually won.
Wait, what?
Anyway, yeah.
So I come home the next day and I'm like, and I start watching it and I'm like, huh? What? I don't get this. Where did this team come from?
I know. It was like, I wrote down here, one of the most improbable wins
Yes.
that I could think of for the Niners. Like, when do they go into a game with no one thinking they have a chance, and they just got to do 14-0 to start the game? I mean, they were dominant for the first quarter plus. Like, just dominant.
Most of the first half, yes.
Yeah, 17-7 at halftime. Like, it was just dominance out there, what they were doing. And they were playing keep away. Like, when you just hold on to the ball, their second drive was a 17-play drive. They had an 8-play drive. So the first drive, no, I'll also admit, I was driving him from work. You know, I have a day job. Driving him from work. And I listened to the first 2 touchdowns in the radio, and then I went back and actually watched them and taking notes. But
yes,
because it's research now when you watch a game. Anyway, so like I listened to the game, and you're like, well, Niners just marched down the field, and then you go back and watch it, and like Mac Jones is just throwing dimes, and just people are getting open, and like he's hitting Kendrick Bourne, and he's hitting Demarcus Robinson.
Well, who taught Kendrick Bourne how to catch a ball in between Sunday and Thursday is my question.
I don't know, but thank you.
It just happened.
Thank you that like the Lord, that he learned how to catch a ball between Sunday to Saturday or Sunday to Thursday. By the time we get to the second touchdown, Christian McCaffrey had 13 touches.
My gosh, we were running this man into the ground.
Yeah, but whatever. We're up 14-0. That was our only 2 touchdowns to the whole game. So we were up 14-0, and then the next drive, the Rams fumble the ball, and you're like, well, you got to keep scoring because the Rams are eventually going to score.
Again, my reaction during this: what? Huh?
Yeah.
None of this made sense. I went into my school retreat going, I'm fine with the Niners. You can't win them all.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
it's the Rams. They're a really good team. I had them ranked last week in the power rankings, just for reference. I had them ranked 5.
The Rams,
and I didn't even have the Niners in the top 10.
Yeah.
So, what? It still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like the defense came out and got a sack in the first possession, like the Rams' first possession. After last week, they got 0 sacks, 0 touching the quarterback. First defensive possession, a sack.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay,
no
sure.
Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
And you just do it?
Yeah. Niners going for 4th and 1 at midfield.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, why not? But this is like Kyle Shanahan. Like the funny thing was, I don't know if I talked about this last week on the podcast, but like Kyle Shanahan was quoted as saying, well, I've always been a little aggressive. Like, Kyle Shanahan's been aggressive on 4th downs. Like, come on, be real, Kyle. You haven't, okay? But he's like, so he's actually going into the season and sometimes thinking, yeah, when we get to 3rd down, if we get a decent play on 4th down, I'm going for it. Like, in certain areas of the field. And so, like, he's kind of in the, I don't know, like R45 to the other team's, like, probably 35, like that 20-yard area.
Yes.
I think he's very much going for fourth downs. He's going for it a lot. And if it's 4th and 5 and under, I think he's going for it. Maybe 4th and 4. Like, if he's going, it's like, it's a decently, type of thing. I think he's been going for it for the first 5 games of the season. So he goes for another 4th and 1 in midfield. He had a 4th and 1 in the 40-yard line. Like, back-to-back things, 2 4th and 1s. Brian Robinson got the second one. Defense, another great stat. The defense had no points allowed in the first quarter for the first 5 games. So 0 points from our defense.
Yes.
All 5 games. That's the first time that's happened since 2015 Broncos. Across the whole league.
Wasn't that 20? Hold on. That was the 2015.
Was that Peyton Manning's Broncos?
Pretty sure that was Peyton Manning Broncos.
Was that was when their defense was just amazing?
2015, or would it be 16 Super Bowl?
Yeah, and then that possession was like,
oh my gosh.
Travis Gibson gets a fumble recovery.
Oh yeah, that was Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, that was Super Bowl 50 in Levi's, so 10 years ago.
Roll it back. So we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. We know what we're talking about here. So 2015, you're like, okay, Super Bowl in Levi's Stadium. 15 years ago.
Super Bowl in Levi Stadium.
Yeah. Hey, this year. The first fumble, it was like, so Sam Okinawa penetrates and kind of distracts running back Corum. I hope I'm saying his name right. And then Travis so he doesn't really catch the ball. It's kind of a toss. It's a toss. He and Okinawa is coming at him, and so it's like kind of not in his face, but really close. So the running back didn't even catch it and fumbles the ball, and then Travis Gibson called it from the practice squad, comes out and playing. Like, the amount of players that probably played over their ceiling.
The 49ers and the power of friendship just beat the LA Rams, is what I'm saying.
Niners and the what?
The 49ers and the power of friendship beat the LA Rams.
Yeah, because if you go down and look, if you look on offense, Kendrick Bourne, 10 catches, 100
And he was signed
yards.
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. You have Mac Jones going for 300 and something yards. You have, Demarcus Robinson came back from suspension. He's playing pretty good. Now, CMC's playing really good, and he should.
But
right?
he's Christian McCaffrey. So
Jake Tongas, another touchdown catch. He has 3 touchdown catches after having 0
his entire career.
You go to the defense, you have Travis Gibson gets a fumble recover, called back from the practice squad. Sam Okinawa, like I just mentioned, for things. I suspect the good things from Fred Warner.
Yes.
Other people from my thing, we're not even getting to if we want to jump to the fourth quarter of players that just played, the Alfred Collins punch-out fumble recovery.
That was a thing of beauty.
Oh, he just reached in, and I don't know if you can see my hand, but punched it. Just an awesome timing.
And if he doesn't do that, 100% we lose the game.
Oh, yeah, because they were going to score
There's no one in front of him besides Alfred Collins on the side.
Well, and Alfred Collins probably wouldn't even tackled him. He doesn't tackle him. Kyron Williams goes into the end zone just without the ball. And
for a point of reference, on ESPN, they have the game cast where it shows the win probability of both teams. When they are the Rams with 1 minute, 13 seconds were on the one just before they're about to score or before the fumble, the Rams had an 80.5% chance of winning.
I know. I was expecting the Niners to still lose the game at that point.
Quite literally, the moment after, the Niners jump up to 74% chance because of the fumble.
You can jump into another player just to kind of name players that had really good games. Hey, our kicker, Eddie De Niro, as you know, De Niro. Pinero is his real name. People, we do know that. So Eddie De Niro, he's 11 for 11 for kicks.
Frankly,
he had a 59-yarder at with about 2.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
I think Kyle Shanahan's game plan this game was, screw it, and just throw everything out there.
Well, did you hear the quote of Mac Jones at the beginning of the game? Before the game, Kyle Shanahan was talking.
Not 100%. Oh, he didn't know.
Well, he knows going to play, and he's like, hey, somehow it came up that, hey, we're underdogs.
Yes, that.
And Kyle Shanahan knew they were underdogs, and he says, what do you say? Let's go out and just let it fly. And when Max Jones heard that, he's like, okay, I can do that.
342 yards, 7 yards average on 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
And just started the game out hot. And then also, this is the shout-out section. Mac Jones, he is a warrior. I don't know if Mac saw the whole fourth quarter, but out there, he had 3 bananas because his arm was cramping. He had some sort of calf issue. How many times was Mac Jones on the ground? There's videos of him he was dry heaving, trying to throw up.
Yes.
And he never missed a snap. He had, I mentioned 3 bananas. He had pickle juice on the sideline. Just the guts that he had.
It sort of reminds me way more in this game than the example I'm going to give. But in the Cardinals game, he had a jersey ripped in the first quarter, and he still played the entire game. And you could see after he made the game-winning field goal, he just looks like he won a war. And again, he just won a war out there.
I hope he can get, if he's playing this week, I'm going to play the Bucs. Can he just end the game in a decent spot? I don't know if we're going to win or lose. We'll get to that later, what our predictions are. But, he's playing his heart out there. He is playing super hard, Mac Jones. He is throwing dimes out there. I still agree that Brock Purdy's our better quarterback.
He just had turf toe against the Jags, but...
Yeah, but, Mac Jones is, thank the Lord for Mac Jones out there.
I think that Kyle Shanahan is a quarterback whisperer that doesn't get enough credit. He brought the best out of Jimmy Garoppolo that I think that anybody's ever seen. He brought the best out of Nick Mullins.
Yeah, Nick Mullins threw for a whole bunch of yards.
Yeah,
he didn't win a whole lot of games.
He won some games. He actually won games. I think that's the important part. He actually made Trey Lance look good, who
I don't know if you remember Trey Lance looked good.
well, in the Texans game he played where he won
The one game he
started, he
Yeah.
actually looked good.
yeah.
And then
Jimmy Garoppolo looked good.
yeah, I already said that. And Jimmy
Yeah.
Garoppolo looked good. And he also made Sam Darnold a good quarterback, sending him to the Vikings
Yeah.
to go be a basically MVP candidate for the almost the entire season.
Yeah. If Mac Jones leaves, which eventually he probably will.
Yes.
Now, he has a 2-year contract, so he'll probably be here for at least another
Thank the Lord for
season.
John Lynch to go.
Yeah, we did 2 years of Mac Jones.
Maybe just a little.
And
Maybe just a little longer
But
for
like,
him.
what's the next reclamation project of a QB that's going to be back at a Brock Purdy? Like, if you go through Sam Darnold and then Mac Jones, of like, hey, you're a guy that needs to. We think you have some promise. You know, you're going to come to the Niners and want to get rebuilt. The other massive play, well, of course, was the 4th down stop.
Yes.
So we're giving shout out to players. Mikael Williams, who's starting to play really good.
I
He was
agree.
the one that got the first penetration in the defense. Then Fred Warner comes through. Now, neither of them were totally involved in the tackle, but they're right there close by. And so they're disrupting the blocking and kind of getting it started. And then you have Alfred Collins, Marquise Siegel, Denomino Lenore, Chase Lucas. Like, it was just a gang tackle of Kyron Williams there. The interesting thing is that Fred Warner said afterwards, he's like, he knew going up to everybody, like the Niners were saying, yeah, we know the run is, we know it's a run and it's coming right here. Like, they knew who the play was. And that's why Sean McVay afterwards says, I bit my bad on the play call. Because the Niners going up to the line, they knew it was happening on that 4th down. Now, I still, up to that point, like, the Rams were driving the field, and I still didn't have much of a chance. Getting to the 4th and 1, I'm like, okay, 4th and 1, we might be able to stop it. But up to that point, I still did not believe
They
we were gonna
came
win.
back from 17-7 all the way to 23-23, and you're like, okay, we're gonna lose at some point.
Yeah.
Is what you said to me.
Well, because if I jump back a little bit in time, we're going. So that's a shout out. If you go back to how the game flow went, we're up 20-7.
Yes.
Okay, and when we're up 20-7, the Rams go in the end of the 3rd, beginning of the 4th, 2 drives, 7 plays, 69 yards, 9 plays, 88. Like, both of them are super quick, like around 3 minutes for both of those drives, and tied at 20-20. Like, and there was at the end of that drive, I think there was about 10 minutes plus left in the game, and it's 20-20, and the Niners just defense at 2 straight drives. They're not stopping the Rams. Like, I did not think we were going to win that game. And the Niners go with 3 and out on the next drive, 3 plays, 2 yards.
Yeah.
Luckily, their defense turns around. Our defense turns around, and the Rams go 3 and out. And that's where the Niners go down and get the field goal, which I think was the 59-yarder to take the lead at 23-20. But even up to that point, you're like, okay, we got a field goal. We needed a touchdown because I don't think we're stopping the Rams defense. And that's where the Rams came back and fumbled on the 1 and stuff like that. And then even after the fumble, the Niners had the ball at the 1-yard line. They still only go 3 plays for 2 yards. Like, those are the most uncreative. Like, I'm literally I do this occasionally, but not very often. I was literally yelling at the TV at, like, Kyle Shanahan, what are you doing? These are the most boring play calls that you're doing. It's like all 3 plays, right at the middle, right at the middle, right at the middle, 3 plays, 2 yards. We don't even have 15 yards for the punter to kick from. And, like, the Rams get the ball back, and no, they actually had a decent return. But then
that felt like the time of, like, okay, the game's over.
Yeah,
for you, right?
yeah, the Rams are going to win, but there was a Rams had a penalty, so knocked him back to the 50-yard line, and
But they still drive all the way down to the field.
Yeah, and now luckily we stopped them, and they only got 7 plays, 20 yards on that one. They get the field goal to tie it up to go into and overtime, and then in the overtime, Niners get the ball first. You're like, okay, not bad. We drive down and get a field goal. Though that one, they actually on the opening kickoff, they kicked it. I think. They squibbed. They were trying to do the kicker on the Rams is I call it a dirty kick. I think is what the guy were calling it. So he lands about the 15 and bounces. Well, this one landed about the 26, which is outside the landing zone. So the Niners get the ball at the 40.
Yeah.
So they only needed 37 yards to get in. I think they got down to like the 12 or something yard line before they had like a sack. So I thought the Niners might actually get a touchdown there, but they still got the field goal. And then the 4th down play after 6 plays there was, I mean, the Rams had like a really long play. Like, I did not think the Niners were going to win until that 4th down stop. And I think that's what I shouted at the end of the game. You know, it's just me and my wife watching the game because Max isn't there. And I'm like, are we going to win this game? I think of something like, I said something like that. Like, just total shock. Just total shock. Yeah, the massive plays. Oh, we missed another massive play. Jordan Elliott blocks an extra credit, extra field,
Yes,
or extra
yes.
point, extra point.
Because if that doesn't happen, then the
Yeah.
Rams, then they're up by 1.
Because it would have been 21-20 instead of 20-20.
But if we made the field goal, then it's 2-point difference.
Yeah, and then they make a field goal, and it's 24-23.
Yes.
And the regulation, we lose.
Why would they rush the ball on the 1 yard line?
Yeah, they'd be running the clock out, kick a field goal to win the game. So Jordan Elliott, huge block. Like, there is so many players on the Niners that just
Come on, man.
played amazing out there.
Phone storage is full. Give me a second.
Okay, so we're back
And
here.
technical issues over now.
Okay, technical issues over back.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's lots of stuff we could say. I would like to go into our player of the game. Thank the Lord.
Where we take a moment and just thank the Lord for,
Kyle Shanahan.
and you can also say Robert Saleh as well.
Yes, but I'd say the coaching staff coached their
Behinds.
rear ends off this week. They had some amazing plays. They coached their players up so they had confidence.
Again, who taught Kendrick Bourne how to catch a ball?
Yeah. If you go back and watch some of the films that videos that I've seen, the first touchdown play, I think it was the first one that went to McCaffrey. No, it was the second one. The second one went to McCaffrey. The second one to McCaffrey. So they line up. It was on the 1 yard line. They line up in a goal line heavy situation. The Niners line up in a goal line heavy. So they have 3 tight ends, 2 running backs. The Rams counter with a whole bunch of defensive linemen and linebackers and safeties. They have 1 cornerback on the field.
And that's just to guard the 1 wide receiver who's out there.
No, we have no wide receivers. They have 3 tight ends and 2 running backs.
Okay.
So we line up that way. We start out in heavy. They go heavy. And then what do? We shift out. Tight ends, everybody shifts out. We leave 1 in the backfield. McCaffrey goes out. Tonjes goes out. Another one goes to this side. So we split it out.
And now you got...
They have heavy personnel. We shift out into a passing personnel.
They got 1 DB.
1 DB, and he's not on McCaffrey. So you have linebackers over here on McCaffrey and the tight end, and then you get in a little bit of a roll to the left, and McCaffrey's open over there for a touchdown. Like, that is the high-level detail that Kyle Shanahan's picking out the plays for this game. I was going through another podcast that just went through the play after play after play where Kyle Shanahan just picked amazing plays to play this week. Now, the players executed it.
Yes.
But that's coaching, as in you pick the players out, you coach the players up, and they went out and executed. But that's why I give Kyle Shanahan the player of the week, or, player,
Thank the Lord for.
Thank the Lord for a segment for Kyle Shanahan and his whole coaching staff, including Robert Saleh, where the defense was in the right spots. The offense was in the right spots. The special teams.
Yes.
Special teams were a
didn't
plus
do
this
something
week.
stupid?
Yeah, we were a plus this week. So
We had a good special teams play.
yeah.
We blocked an extra point.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had a good special teams play since the blocked punt against the Packers in the divisional round years ago.
I know. And we didn't give up long, the only long kickoff return or punt return was called back via penalties. So, thank the Lord for the coaching staff. They did an awesome job.
Thank you, Jaguars, for beating us. I think that was a wake-up moment.
Sometimes you need those during the season where it's like you need a little bit of, hey, even though we're losing close games or we're winning close games, however you want to look at it, you're like, we got to be better. And this was we got to be better thing. I also want to shout out, our Niners fans.
Yes.
Levi South. There's videos out there where the Rams stadium crew piped in crowd noise when the Niners were on offense, Rams were on defense.
And everyone's sitting down.
Everyone's sitting around doing nothing, and they're piping in this crowd noise. But then
That's fine. They will. If the NFL decides to go into this, they will legitimately get fined for this, either money or they might take a draft pick away from them.
No, they won't take a draft pick for pumping and noise. I don't think they would do that. But either way, Niners faithful, we have a huge fan base.
Come watch the Eastman Sport Report.
Yeah. Hey, we're here for all of you guys, whether you live in LA or wherever you live across the country. There's so many Niner fans out there, and it is awesome to see the red in the stadiums. Which, side note, LA fans,
where are you?
I mean, the Chargers and the Rams came back, 5-6 years ago now?
Yes.
But, like, when you have the Washington Commanders playing the Chargers.
And there's 50-50.
Yeah, and they're Commanders across the country, and that looks like there's more red than blue in your stadium. So that's 2 games in a row.
And it's the Commanders of all teams?
Yeah.
It's not like the Eagles or like the Giants.
Or the Packers travel really well, or Steelers travel well.
The Commanders?
This is the Commanders having a really good turnout in L.A. So 2 games in a row from a Thursday to a Sunday game, just so many red in L.A. Anyway, okay, so I talked a whole bunch. Anything else you want to say about this game?
I do not have anything more specific for this game. You talked a whole lot about this, which...
Yes. Okay, so other...
Because you watched more of the game than I did. So.
Yeah. Okay, so other notes...
One more... one thing I wanted to say.
Sorry, go ahead.
My one thing.
Your Max is one thing.
Max is one thing. I should have like an air horn sound for that or something. But Marquise Siegel had the most total tackles for the Niners this week with
awesome.
13. And he was tied with Fred Warner for 7 solo tackles. Marquise Siegel.
Rookie.
Honorable mention for thank the Lord for Marquise Siegel. He was a part of the group that stopped Kyron Williams on the 4th down play, which won us the game. So
a few other notes here coming after the game. Malik Mustafa, who was a rookie last year, he was playing really good last year. He had a torn ACL, I think, on the last game of the season last year. His practice window is now open. Now his injury was after Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk was in October. His was in, I guess, last week of the season. It'll be in January. But his was just an ACL, where Brandon Ayuk was an ACL and an MCL and a few other things. So that's why Brandon Ayuk's taking longer. But anyway, his practice window is now open, which should technically be the second out of the 4 ACL injuries from last year that has come back to practice. Okay. The other one is Curtis Rourke, if you're really keeping track of him as a backup quarterback.
Who?
Drafted. He was a draft pick.
Oh, good for him.
He's had a torn ACL last year, and so anyway,
he's not Brock Purdy.
I don't think he's coming back. I don't think he's playing this year, but maybe. You never know.
I hope he doesn't play.
If you want to remember about Malik Mustafa, last year, his let's see if I can read this. He had 755 snaps. He's on the field, which was the second most of any safety last year. Second most to Jair Brown. Okay?
And he was a rookie, right?
And he was a rookie last year. His when he was
on the field,
and he was covering,
how
many yards he's giving up in pass versus the snaps he's on the field. So this has to do with playing yards. How many receiving yards he gives up.
So this is like an average?
Yeah, it's kind of an average. He only gave up 0.12 yards.
0.1?
Yes. Which, if you go into like Talanoa Funga last year, played 308, he gave up half a yard per snap. George Odom, who wasn't very good, was 1.2. Jair Brown played about 1.38. So Malik Mustafa at 0.12.
That's
like I think he had less than 50 total yards he gave up for the whole season. So he's a really good coverage safety. And Siegel, you mentioned, he's playing good, but he's also got a lot of tackles. That's also sometimes as a safety or a defensive back. That's because you're kind of open and you're not covering.
Yes.
Like Lenore is probably our best coverage guy. He doesn't get a lot of tackles because he's covering the guy really good.
Siegel also had 1 pass deflection. So I think that's important to say.
He's getting better. But like Malik Mustafa is way better than Siegel was as a rookie. So I don't know if he's going to play this week, if we're going to let him practice for a couple weeks before he comes back. But we're working him in slowly. Who knows? But that could be a good thing on the back here. Other notes, if I want to, this is the empty the coach's notebook section of the podcast. CMC, he is on pace for 959 yards rushing. So again, not very good rushing. It's less than 1,000 yards of rushing, 959, which I think will get better when Kittle comes back and you get the wide receiver.
We actually get rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Because how are we 4-1 without a rushing touchdown? It's a little side note of we're 4-1, but we haven't had a rushing touchdown.
Only team in the league.
Yeah, sure, why not?
So CMC is on pace for receiving yards 1,315. So he's on pace for less than 1,000 rushing. 1,300 receiving.
Just play my wide receiver at this point.
The other things the Niners worked out, 6 defensive linemen today because we have a lot of injuries in that area. Niners are actually worse in the league at negative run percentage which is like 16.5% of the time we have negative runs, which means your blocking's not very good. Other things of note, tiers. Now, this is tiers from a NFL team tiers from, this will lead into Max's segment here. So get ready for your segment there, Max. Team tiers, my last notebook section. The number one team tier is, I told us that Max earlier, I had to get on the right over here. The number one team, according to this team, now this is efficiency. So you rate offensive, defensive efficiency, and then you drive the diagonal lines. The Indianapolis Colts have the best.
Yes.
Tier number 2 is the Lions, Packers, and the Bills, or tier 2. So it does have a thing, if you like, it does actually mean things. And like tier 3 has like the Jaguars, the Rams, the Broncos, and Buccaneers, and Commanders are all in the next tier.
Okay.
The Niners are actually in the 4th tier.
Okay.
So for being 4-1, we're not being efficient on offense and defense, and we're ranked 16th. Now, if you want to look at, so that's kind of, we're middle of the road. So in some ways, our record is better than what we should be. Efficiency should get better as our offense gets better, because our offense is pretty much even. If you also just want to know from the other end of the spectrum, like who are the worst teams in the league efficiency-wise, the Titans and the Bengals.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Big shock. And also you have the Browns, Raiders, and the Giants are in the next tier. So, yes, these things do somewhat line up to how teams do. But Niners are kind of an outlier, as in they have a middle-of-the-road efficiency, but they have technically the best record in the NFC. So,
before we move on to the league-wide stuff,
yes,
do we want to have a little bit of discussion about Niners trade talks of just names to throw out there?
Okay.
Now, 2 names who are like my top of the list, if we could get them, which we aren't going to get them because the main problem is they're really expensive, of players that we need to trade for. The main idea for like Niners trade talks right now is finding some sort of replacement for Nick Bosa.
Yeah, some sort of defensive lineman. Even if it's a tackle, I think we could work too.
Just somebody else to help put pressure on that line, and if we can keep them for afterwards when Nick Bosa does come back next season, that'd be great as well.
Yeah, I think, I was forgetting the names. I think the Niners are 99% confident that the Niners are going to make a trade for a defensive lineman. Now, we still have about 4 weeks to the trade then. I think it's November 4th. So we're about 4 weeks away. Go ahead.
So it's going to happen at some point.
Yes.
But, so my 2 names that I want to throw out there, which we aren't going to get traded for because they're really expensive. We probably have to give up too much for them. I'll say the most unrealistic one first. Max Crosby.
So I don't. Yeah, go ahead.
So he's on a really bad team. So the Raiders might want to look to rebuild and get more assets instead of pumping all of what money that they have into Max Crosby, who's a really good player.
I would
do so much to have Max Crosby on my team, but also, gosh, that contract.
But will the Raiders actually make a trade with the Niners? When Khalil Mack was up for trade, they would not trade Khalil Mack to the Niners, even the Niners gave a better offer to the Bears than the Bears. So I would love it. Likelihood of happening less than 1%.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's if it could, I'd love it to happen, but it's not going to happen. And the second name, which I think is slightly more likely, because he's a little less expensive and the team might want more assets, like current assets, because I think they're still could be a good team, is Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay.
Because they had a long contract dispute throughout the offseason, and
he only signed for 1 season.
Yeah, he only signed for 1 season.
Yeah.
So if we were able to get him, it'd be sort of okay because it's just for 1 season, and he could be a piece that's very similar to Nick Bosa to fill his spot. Now, is he Nick Bosa? Heck no.
No,
definitely not.
No, yeah.
But he could fill a spot. But
now, if you get into the Bengals, back to what I was just mentioning about the tiers, they're in the bottom tier of efficiency.
Because of their defense, especially.
And Jake Browning.
Because Jake Browning is, yikes.
I mean, he's from Folsom High School, so I would love him to be doing better, but he is not. When you trade for 40-year-old Joe Flacco,
something's wrong.
Something's wrong. And so I would love it. Now, the other thing is if people are talking about, well, he costs a lot of money, the Niners put insurance on their top-tier players. So they're actually getting about, I think it's about $9 million back on the cap because of the injury to Nick Bosa.
Okay.
So they actually have like a place where if Trey Anderson, if they pick him up in the middle of the season, So I don't know if you're Googling how much he makes. I think it's over $20 million that he's making. I don't know if it's close to 30 he's making somewhere this year. So if the Niners get him like in the middle of the season, they only have to pay for half of that salary. So like salary-wise, they could make that fit with they've getting some benefit back from Nick Bosa. It's only half of what Trey Hendrickson will be making for the full season. Now it's a matter of will the Bengals trade him? So will the Bengals have a record that's because if they're not going to keep him next year because they couldn't come up with a contract this season, and they're like, well, we'll just get something back for him anyway because we're going to lose him, and our record's really bad. In 4 weeks, maybe
he's more likely. He's way more likely than Max Crosby.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I still think
yeah.
he's sort of an unrealistic name.
Yeah.
He is making at about $28 to $30 million this year. So not the most expensive contract, but definitely like higher up there for his position.
Yeah.
Which is, I'd like him. I definitely like him on the Niners.
Oh, I would love
don't
to.
think it's going to happen though.
Yeah.
I'd love.
Do you have any other names?
I thought you would have names, so I was
So
saving
a
them for
few
you.
others that I've been hearing thrown out there is Kayvon Thibodeau from the Giants.
Thibodeau?
Am I saying that right? Probably saying that a little bit wrong. Kayvon Thibodeau. Thibodeau? I think I'm saying it a little bit off. Anyway, from the Giants.
Okay, then Binjor.
Sorry. Yes. So the Giants guy, if the Giants are going to stay bad, maybe we'll get him. Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans, and there's another name I remember hearing from the Titans that could have possibly be a thing. Again, the Titans are pretty bad, so maybe we'll get some players from. I've heard some other people names were thrown around, but that's some of the. Again, I totally think the Niners are going to go off and get somebody eventually, but not right now. I think it's going to be another 3 weeks before we get somebody. So, okay. Anything else before we get to your segment?
I don't know. Got anything else? Do you?
Nope, that's
okay.
My notebook's pretty empty
I
now.
think it's about time that we talked about
Max's Top 10.
Hey, that's me. Wait, I just realized you can't see me what I'm doing right now. Dang it, that's sad.
Sorry.
You don't have to mess with it. Okay.
I'll mess with it
So,
you go in there and see if I can fix it.
while I was looking at across the league and through the power rankings, I'm like, okay, I just need to look at the power rankings without looking at who I put last week. Because I feel like the last 2 weeks I've been a little bit like, I guess you could say prejudiced about like, are these teams actually good? Like what teams should be up there? Like I remember week 4, because we didn't do week 3. I did my first time doing the top 10. I went, hey, where's the Ravens? Yikes.
Well, the Ravens don't deserve to be in there anymore.
Well, yeah. So starting off, I have 2 honorable mentions. I'm not going to give them a lot of talking time, but they're good still. The first one I want to talk about is the Steelers, who I think are a good team, but they're also in the dumpster fire, which is the AFC North, which I thought was going to be a really good division this year with the Steelers and the Bengals and the Ravens. But it turns out the Ravens suck without Lamar Jackson. Turns out the Bengals also suck without Joe Burrow. So I think this. I want to talk about this now because I don't know another time to talk about this, and and it's sad that the camera isn't going to be on me, so I can't turn this into an Instagram clip.
Do you want to make it so we're side by side? Because this is
no, we're fine.
This is not coming back.
It's going to be fine.
Okay.
I think the 2 most important parts of football is your offensive line and your defensive line. Because if you're an NFL quarterback and you have because you've made it to the NFL, you're a good quarterback. Objectively, you're a good quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good offensive line, like top half of the league offensive line, you can do a lot of good stuff because Daniel Jones had a really, really, really bad offensive line with the Giants, except for the 1 year where he played well with Saquon Barkley and then went to the playoffs and he got paid a lot. And then after that, oh boy, it was hot garbage. And even before that, he was messy out there. But now he has a good offensive line, and he's only lost 1 game, and that is against the LA Rams, who's one of the league's best teams. And he's looking like an MVP candidate out there.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Sam Darnold. He had a good offensive line in Minnesota, and he's out there throwing dots, and he's actually able to make reads. And I think it's so important to have a good offensive line. for your quarterbacks, especially imagine if Joe Burrow had a really good offensive line.
Yeah, he probably would have won a Super Bowl by now.
Exactly. He had an okay offensive line the year they went to the Super Bowl, and he almost won that game.
Yeah.
Because Joe Burrow's one of, if not the best quarterbacks in the league right now. So, and to combat that, you need a really good defensive line. Because if someone has a really good offensive line, you don't want them to have a good offensive line. You want to make their offensive line look really, really bad. So you have to have a really, really good defensive line.
Yeah.
And I think a team that perfectly examples this was last year's Philadelphia Eagles team. They had one of, if not the best offensive line in the game, and the same thing for their defensive line. And what do? They go and blow out who everyone thought was going to go win the Super Bowl and three-peat the Kansas City Chiefs. And they frankly looked like a super team out there last year.
Yeah.
And now they've lost a bunch of players on their defensive line and on their offensive line, and they're still the same Eagles. They still have a lot of the same like skill position players, but they're not as good. And I think that's because of their offensive and their defensive line getting worse. Anyway, mini rant over. Back to the Max's top 10.
Okay.
Steelers. You're pretty good. Yeah, you're pretty good. Aaron Rodgers, keep doing stuff.
Are they in your top 10 or are they?
They're their honorable mention, so they're not.
mention.
So they're not in the top 10, but like they're close.
Okay.
Because they've only lost one game, and
Okay.
I don't really know how else to feel about them.
Okay.
And then the second spot for my honorable mention, I have the LA Chargers. They fell from what I had them last week. I'm just making sure I'm having this right. Last week I had them at number 6.
Oh, okay.
Now they're out of the top 10.
Okay.
And I think that's because, like I said, I looked at this entire top 10 with fresh eyes and thinking, who's actually the really good teams, like best teams in the league right now? And if I had to be a little biased, I think I did a pretty good job. Okay,
let's
number
keep
10.
going.
I think the most important part of this team is their starting quarterback coming back. And I think another good sign is that they are also good without their starting quarterbacks. At number 10, I got the Washington Commanders.
Okay.
Because Jaden Daniels is so
He is good.
I don't know how else. If you don't know who Jaden Daniels is, where are you? How did you get here? How do you not know who Jaden Daniels is? He's probably top 5 quarterback right now, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Because I used to think Jalen Hurts was top 5, and then I realized, oh wait, he just had a super team around him. So like, I was a little bit sucking.
He
up
might be top 10, but Jaden Daniels I think is better.
Yes,
than
Jaden Daniels is so good, and it's his second year, and he's already looking amazing.
Yeah, he looks really good.
Commanders are so good, man, and I think, like I said, Jaden Daniels is such an important part to them to make them a top 10 team.
Okay,
like I had them before the season starting. I have them in the NFC Championship game, like how they were last year, because I believe in Jaden Daniels. I believe in the team that they have.
Okay.
So the record hasn't shown it because they lost Jaden Daniels for a little bit, so they're not as good as I thought they would be, but they're still really, really good.
Okay.
Anyway, number 9. I got the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Because you don't go out and beat the team that I had as number 1 last week and not get moved up a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And is it 3-2 now? But the only teams that they've lost against is the Indianapolis Colts and the LA Chargers, if I'm correct.
I think it sounds about right. Yep.
So they're a pretty good team. Their second half, no, not second half, their fourth quarter against the Eagles was a thing of beauty. I'm pretty sure, I have Bo Nix on one of my fantasy teams. I'm pretty sure he had 8 points going into the fourth quarter, and he finished with 29.
Wow. Yeah.
Saved my week. That's not the point here.
That gets back to the who was best in that draft class, and you're like, you had Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, and the Bears picked Caleb Williams. But anyway, sorry, I don't want to.
Caleb Williams still looks good. I just think
no, he's not as good as the other two, though.
I just think he's on the Bears.
Well, that could be true. Anyway, keep going. Sorry, I don't want to.
Okay. Anyway, number 8. It feels wrong in my heart to put them here, but because of their record, I can't not put them here. I have the LA Rams.
Okay. I mean, they're still 3-2.
The reason why I have the LA Rams at 8 is because every other team above them is 4-1. So I can't not.
Yeah, you got to have
the Rams are a really good team.
No, they are.
They're just, And they should have beat the Niners, frankly. I still don't believe I'm still in shock that we won that game. It still doesn't make sense.
The Niners played with more heart.
Yes.
But they were a really good team. And they should have beat the Eagles too.
Yes, I agree.
But they got that pump block.
Easily
at the end.
could have been undefeated right now.
Oh yeah, they could be.
But
totally 5-0.
they're not.
Yeah,
And
they're not.
Puka Nacua is the front runner for Offensive Player of the Year. And I think that, if I had to put money on anyone right now, it'd probably be Puka Nacua. And that's because the two people with the most receiving yards any season is Calvin Johnson and Cooper Kupp. Both had Matthew Stafford as their quarterback in that season.
Oh, and they both are close to almost 2,000 yards receiving. Yeah,
I think that Matthew Stafford right now, this season, is playing on an MVP level. If I had to make a prediction, going into week 6, I'd say Matthew Stafford is going to win the MVP.
Oh, well, that means
that's my hot take.
That means the Rams would better not lose for too many more games.
And also, I have to change my opinion because I said Joe Burrow is going to win it, and it's not going to. He's Anyway, moving on.
Yes, doesn't look like that's going to happen. Okay.
I think this team, number 7. I think this team. Are you still checking the camera? Yeah. Okay.
It's not.
I think unarguably, especially after last week and the week before that, this team has the best defense in the league. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yeah.
Jumping up from not even being in my top 10 to being number 7.
I kind of think they might be higher, but I'll wait to see what you have else up there. But yeah, their defense is really good.
Their defense is really good. And if I finally found some fan reactions of like in-crowd reactions of them reacting to the game-winning touchdown run by Trevor Lawrence. I think run is a general.
That's the.
It's too generous. I feel like it's too generous.
Yeah, the stumble bumble into the end zone.
Not fumble, but the rumble into the end zone. You could say
because he offensive lineman stepped on his foot, then he
trips over offensive lineman's foot, has to stand up, breaks a tackle, and then runs into the end zone.
I know,
which was the most instant no to a yes I've seen in it.
Have you seen that video clip? And then watch Chris Jones on defense.
I have not watched Chris Jones on defense.
He's standing at the goal line doing nothing. Literally nothing. Anyway, sorry, distracting you.
And this is why the Chiefs aren't in this list. Oh, spoilers.
Yeah,
they have the same record as the Panthers.
If you want to go look at that, I saw that and I was like, what is he doing? Anyway, go ahead.
By the way, the Chiefs do have the same record as the Carolina Panthers. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
Moving on. Number 6. It feels wrong, but I don't know where else to put them.
Okay.
I have the San Francisco 49ers at number 6.
I mean, they're 4-0 in the conference. They technically are number 1 seed right now. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be the number 1 seed.
I thought the Eagles were still the 1 seed.
No, because their
only loss came. Well, both losses.
Well, they're 3-0 in the conference. Niners are 4-0 in the conference. Anyway,
I don't know, but like I said, I think last week and the week before that, every single Niners win that we've had, and even our loss that we've had to claw tooth and nail.
According to ESPN, it does have the Eagles at number 1.
Okay.
Anyway, sorry,
that's
go
what
ahead.
I thought. Okay. So the Niners have had to claw tooth and nail every single game this season, except for maybe the Seattle game, but that's like a iffy. I blame Jake Moody for how close the game was. I lost my train of thought because I mentioned Jake Moody. Man, I missed.
Your thought just went wide left.
Hit the crossbar.
Doink.
I'm so glad I don't have to cope with him anymore.
Okay. Niners.
I feel like I could say a lot about the Niners, but we've already said a lot about the Niners. So.
Okay, so move on to number 5 here.
If you went back and told me that Daniel Jones would be a good quarterback in 2025, I'd think you're crazy.
Yeah.
I have the Colts at number 5.
Okay.
Indiana Jones. He belongs in a museum.
I like those nicknames, actually. I like that name, Indiana Jones. That's a really good nickname. So.
I didn't come up with it.
I know you didn't come up with it, but
he belongs in a museum, frankly. This season is amazing. It's just, I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I still don't believe it. It doesn't make sense. Their defense is one of the best in the league. Their offense is one of the best of the league. They're the most consistent team that I've seen out here. But they're the Colts, so
Hey, the Niners play them in Indy in December.
The one thing we said when you told me that when you're on the car right up here, please crash and burn.
Well,
Because the Vikings at the end of the season crash and burn. Please crash and burn.
it's still a possibility. We'll see how the Colts are playing and the Niners are playing. That's
Okay.
That's the.
Oh, this feels weird to transition straight from the Colts to the next team I have.
Okay.
But
What's the next team you got? Number 4.
number 4, I moved them down a little bit because going back to, I think this is going back to their game that they had before this and the game that they just had, which they lost. It feels weird how close it is for this team, with how high expectations everyone has for them. I have the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
You had a close game with the Miami Dolphins on Thursday night, which I chalked up to being a divisional game. It's a short week. You eventually pulled away and got the win, but I pushed it away, and it's like it's not going to matter. It's just one of those games, and then you go out and lose to the New England Patriots.
Which the Patriots.
Which the Patriots are good.
They're not horrible.
If I would put in another honorable, I don't know if I would put them in like the third honorable mention spot because there's a lot of good teams.
Yeah,
but because the Patriots aren't a bad team, like you said. I think they're your dark horse team to make the playoffs this year.
Yes.
So.
We'll
They're not, which it's been good so far.
Yeah.
But what am I trying to say here? The Bills, because you lost, I'm moving you down.
Yeah.
Because of how close your games have been, you had a win against the Saints. It was sort of an ugly blowout. Because it looks like you're playing sloppy up there.
But they pulled away at the end.
Yes.
Because it was closer most of the game. So
it was an ugly blowout. And
yeah.
I expect more out of the Bills. I expect them to go back up, but I have to pull them down a little bit because of their performances that they've had so far.
Okay.
Number 3. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh.
If I was to put anyone as an MVP candidate besides Matthew Stafford, it'd be Baker Mayfield.
And the Niners play him come up next, so
it's going to be
that's going to be tough.
I think it's going to be a really close game.
It's
a very stressful game for us. And Baker Mayfield has been the most clutch player in the league this season. Every single game that they've played has been a one-score game.
I think the only game they lost was to the Eagles, and
yes,
he had a
and
chance
you
to
lost to the Eagles is the only game that you've lost.
Yeah, but he had a chance to win that game at the end there, and so yeah. Okay.
The Bucs are pretty good. Emeka Egbuka, I think is how you pronounce it.
Sounds about right.
Who I think you have on your fantasy team.
Yes.
Great pickup for you.
That was a great.
Looks like an offensive rookie of the year.
I know.
He looks like a number 1 option out there, even when you have Mike Evans on your team. So the Bucs are pretty good. Bucs in at 3. Number 2. I got the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Because of the collapse that they had in the fourth quarter, they were winning, and it was sort of a blowout, if you could say that. They actually had a receiving game. Devontae Smith had a touchdown. Dallas Goedert had a touchdown, which is good for me because I have Devontae Smith on my fantasy team. I have 3 fantasy teams, by the way, so if I say a lot of players on my fantasy team, that's why. I won all my games this week. I was 3-0.
Good job.
Moving on. The Eagles, they're a really good team. I still believe the Eagles, they're number 2. They're still one of the best teams in the league. Yeah. I'm pretty sure if they played most of the teams on this list, except for the Broncos at 9, they'd win. But the Eagles are really good. I don't think I need to tell you that. Just go look at last season. Come look at this season. They've been really good.
It was a close last minute game. The funny thing is they gave up 18 points in the fourth period and they scored nothing in the fourth. Like that's just crazy that the Eagles just could not score at the end of the game.
Yes, that's why I pulled them down because you had such a big lead and you let the Broncos come all the way back and you can't even respond with a field goal.
17-3 going into the fourth quarter, up 17-3, and then you score nothing and the Broncos score 18.
Yes,
So,
and lastly at number 1, I have the only team who has won 4 games in a row.
Okay.
As of right now.
Okay.
I got the Detroit Lions.
Okay, Dan Campbell's happy with that.
I don't know how to feel about the Packers, honestly. Because they looked like the best team in the league the first 2 games of the season, and now they're like, well, And now, and I think
consistent,
especially
yeah.
because of the Lions' loss against the Packers, it just made the Lions look so bad. And then they went out and dominated the Bears, and then they went out and they won and won and won, and then last week I forget who they played this week.
Bengals.
The Bengals, which is, oh boy, you should win that game.
Yeah.
But the Lions are so explosive. Their defense looks like it's coming back into like how it was last season. Aiden Hutchinson, oh my gosh, he's such a good player out there.
Yeah.
He's basically making their defensive line work. And like I said, you need to have a good offensive line to have a good to basically have good quarterback play in the NFL. Penei Sewell is a monster. I think you put him as your prediction for Protector of the Year this
I
because
think he's trending
and
that
I
way.
put Trent Williams because like if you make an award like this, Trent Williams should be like, okay, you get it, and then we'll move on to everyone else. But Trent Williams isn't playing the greatest football of his
he's
life,
not.
and Penei Sewell is playing really good.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the Lions at number 1. Okay. And recap for this before we move on. I have the Lions at 1, Eagles at 2, Bucks at 3, Bills at 4, Colts at 5, Niners at 6, Jags at 7, Rams at 8, Broncos at 9, Commanders at 10.
Okay.
Anyway, do you think it's time
It's time for
our
PrimeTime Picks,
where we pick out the primetime games of your NFL schedule and predict who's going to win and who's going to lose. And also the Niners, because we like
Niners podcast.
Yeah, Niners podcast. Who do we have this week for
Okay,
Thursday
so
Night Football?
Thursday Night Football is, first off, recap the previous week. We both had a horrible week. We both went 1-3.
Yikes.
Now
Can you tell us what games we got right?
Did I close that? No, I have it over here. So I got the game I got right was the last game on Monday night. I picked the Jaguars last week to beat the Chiefs, and you picked the Commanders to beat the Chargers. So,
Sick, man.
Yeah.
And this week we have 5 games to talk about because
Yes,
there's 2 Monday Night Football games.
Okay, so first game Thursday Night Football is the Eagles at the Giants.
I mean, it's a divisional game.
But I'm picking the Eagles.
I'm also picking the Eagles.
I'm
If the
sorry.
Giants somehow win this, props to Jackson Dart, props to Cam Scadaboo. But Sac State legend, Cam Scadaboo.
Yeah.
But,
because they lost last week, the Eagles. They're gonna be,
this is gonna be a blowout. This is gonna be a blowout of all blowouts.
Yeah. The Thursday night games.
How many points?
How
How many points are the Giants gonna put up? I say like 10 max.
Maybe 13.
Okay, cool. Glad we were getting this. Okay,
Next, we're going to the Niners game. Niners at Bucks because they're
in
Sunday
Tampa
afternoon.
Bay.
It actually got moved from a Sunday morning game to a Sunday afternoon, so it doesn't have to. So as the Niners go over to Tampa Bay, they're not on East Coast time. They get to play at the normal Pacific time, the 1 o'clock game, even though it'll be in the Pacific or Eastern time
This
zone.
is gonna be a close game, especially because you're the Bucks and you've only
Yeah.
had close games, and same with the Niners, you've only had close games.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's gonna be a blowout in one direction.
No,
but
this is going to be a close game both ways. I don't know who the Niners quarterback's going to be. Can we stop Baker Mayfield? I don't know. Like, we're going to make life tough for him.
yes,
Is this going to come down to turnovers and special teams? Because I think the rest of the teams are going to be pretty much back and forth. So,
do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm gonna go with the prediction that I had all the way back in week 0.
Okay.
I got the Niners beating the Bucks.
Okay.
Because I'm a homer and I want to see the Niners win. And also I do believe that we can beat the Bucks. They are a really good team, but
Yes. I believe
I believe the Niners could honestly beat any team in the league besides probably like the Lions or the Eagles right now.
Yeah. We probably need our offensive team to get healthy to beat those teams.
And if if the Niners are able to beat the Bucks, I think that's a statement win. To say that we're here
Yeah.
and you need to respect us.
Yeah. Although I'm going the other way and saying the Bucks are going to win. So.
I was considering picking the Bucks. I'm like, I don't know, man.
I don't know. This is
we had one of the most
Yeah.
passionate wins of probably my entire life
I know,
against the LA Rams, and
Yeah.
you have to go out and do that again against the Bucks.
I know. So, like, can they do it again? I think they can. I truly believe they can. I do think it's going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be like a 27-24 game. But I think Baker Mayfield's going to get a touchdown at the end of the game to win the game.
Okay.
Now, our defense in all 4 of our wins, I'm pretty sure it's all 4, has made a play at the end of the game. So can our defense keep that up against Baker Mayfield and get our first interception of the game? Now, that's how I think we're going to win the game.
Yes.
But I'm picking the Bucs.
Okay. Moving on to Sunday Night Football.
Which actually could be a really good game.
Yes, I
Detroit
agree.
Lions at the Kansas City Chiefs.
In Arrowhead Stadium.
Yes, that's always a good fan base and stuff.
The Chiefs could win.
I agree.
I don't think they're going to.
Now the Chiefs, are they 2-3?
They are 2-3.
They are 2-3. So at any point, Patrick Mahomes could go off and win.
Yes, I agree.
Is Rashid Rice? I think he's still suspended. I think he's still like for the first 6 games of the season, so I don't think he's back. I'm still gonna play the Lions.
I
I do think the Chiefs has a chance, but
it's going to be a close game.
yes.
And if not a close game, it's going to be a blowout by the Lions.
And I do think it's going to be high scoring because the Lions score a lot, and Patrick Mahomes is going to find
I
a way to score.
I believe more in the Lions defense than I believe in either team's offense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. We have Bills Monday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Bills in Atlanta against the Falcons.
Who after this Monday night game have to travel over to play the Niners the next week.
Yes.
So a Sunday night game. So the
Falcons?
Falcons get a back-to-back primetime games.
I think this is 3 games in a row that the Bills have been prime time because they were Thursday Night Football against the Dolphins,
And then they were
Sunday night against the Patriots, and now Monday night against the Falcons.
Uh-huh.
They just got to get an international game and a Saturday game to get the Infinity
trifecta.
Gauntlet.
Yeah, I know. Uh-huh. I'm going Bills in this game. I think they're going to come back after a loss.
I do. If I was a betting man, I'd pick the Bills, but I'm looking at this. The Falcons are calling my name, and I'm going to pick the Bills.
Okay. I thought he was going to go something different.
I'm not going to do it.
Because right now, we only have one game different, which is the Niners-Bucks game. Okay, last game of the weekend. Bears at Commanders.
It could be a closer game than we're thinking, right?
Could be.
It could be, but it also could just be the Commanders winning, right?
I mean, I'm picking the Commanders on this one because I'm looking at Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels, and I know which one I would pick right now. It's Jaden Daniels over Caleb Williams.
I agree.
The Commanders are finding ways to win. I mean, the Bears should be able. I'm kind of want to see how Caleb Williams is doing, so I'm looking forward to watching the game. But I'm picking Commanders. Sorry.
Yeah, me too.
Which means the only game to see who wins this weekend in our primetime picks
is the Niners.
Niners and Bucks game is the only game we picked different. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope I'm right.
I hope I'm wrong. But we'll see. So there's a chance. So that's
in my season predictions, we were undefeated at this point.
Yeah. See, Max was going to go 6-0. We'll see if
and then
happens.
we're going to lose the next game against the Falcons. So
okay,
but
okay. So
what's your mini bit about the Kings that you thing about the Kings that you have? You said
okay. So I got about maybe 5 minutes worth of stuff here on the Kings.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been waiting this long, you probably skipped to the end here to watch our Kings news of the week.
Hi, here's the 10-minute Kings wrap. Wait, you can't see me. Let me bring my microphone. Hi, this is your 10-minute part about the Kings. I don't know if you can actually see me all that well, but you probably can just see my hand.
Okay. Okay. I told you we should just sit on the same side of the camera. Anyway, same
Nope.
side of the table. Okay. First preseason game for the Kings is tomorrow against the Raptors.
Yes.
Of course, this podcast might get up before we play the game. I don't know. We'll see.
It should.
The Kings only play this game on, you can only watch this game on kings.com unless you're going to the arena. It is in Sacramento. So only 2 out of the 4 preseason games are on TV that we can watch, which is Wednesday, October 15th against the Clippers, and then Friday, October 17th is on NBA TV because it's the Lakers. So anyway, that's our 2 preseason games. Things I'm looking for in this game is, and I don't know if I'll be able to watch the game because on Kings.com they usually just have an arena feed, so it's not the best of our feeds. But anyway,
Do our own commentary.
Yeah, we'll see if I don't know.
Maybe.
You have church tomorrow night.
I definitely do.
Yeah, so you're not going to do that anyway. I always love from a coaching perspective in basketball. I love watching rotations to see who's he put on the second and third teams, where things as anybody looking out of the ordinary in that is like any of the rookies on the second team. Like I'm thinking Nick is in there, but Maxine Renault is probably on the third team. How do both those rookies look?
Yes.
I'm curious to see how they
That's
look.
an important question.
The thing is do they belong? And then, like, do they belong in they belong in the NBA? Do they look like they're an NBA player?
They looked good in the preseason.
Well,
Or
no,
not, Summer League.
But that's Summer League. So you're like, okay, yeah, you better look good in Summer League. Now it's actual NBA players you're playing against.
Which, again, you better look good in the preseason.
Yeah, so we'll see how they do here. The other thing is defense. Doug Christie's talking about defense, and then I mentioned defense. Picking up 94 feet. Are they really going to pick up 94 feet for 48 minutes of a preseason game?
Or is this just like a metaphorical thing?
Yeah.
With like how much intensity he wants them to play with.
How much intensity is Zach and DeMar going to look on defense
Is he gonna
in the preseason
Is he going to
games?
save that for the first regular season game?
That's the questions I got here of what's
I've played some teams who play full court defense the entire time, and let me tell you, those teams are annoying.
And that's what Doug Christie wants to be. He wants to be that annoying team. So we'll see what happens with that. Other notes about Doug Christie. So kind of interviews. He always goes and talks after post game stuff. So looking at some of them. Some interesting notes. He talks to Scott Perry after every practice, basically on the court. So Scott Perry's watching practice, which is good from the aspect of having the coach and the GM talking.
Yes,
Like
I agree.
I could list off how many different coaches and GMs do not talk with as Sacramento Kings partners. Doug calls Scott Perry a mentor, which is not normally the case. You call your GM a mentor, but Doug's like first time being
And
a
Scott
coach.
Perry's been here for a while.
Yeah, and Scott Perry's been around the league, so okay, that makes sense. But I love the aspect that they're talking, working together. Every single time Doug talks about defense, just like I said, did he talk about defense? Did he talk about picking up 94 feet yet today? Every day he's talking about picking up 94 feet. Now, he actually talked about picking up 94 feet one day.
Bless you.
He talked about doing it, and I kind of like this as the coach. This is the coach coming out of me. He's talking about, well, if one person picks up 94 feet, the next person may not be picking up 94 feet, but if they're not picking up at, say, 74 feet, and like he picks up and that guy they just toss it over the head and not everybody's doing it, then you're like, well, let's say Dennis Schroeder's picking up. And I'll just pick on Zach LaVine because, anyway, he's not known for his defense. But let's say Zach LaVine's not playing defense at 94 feet. Or Keegan Murray for some reason. He's not. Now Dennis Schroeder is going to go to the next timeout and say, dude, why are you not? I'm working really hard. Why are you not working hard? So that's the type of effort that Doug wants of, hey, I'm picking up 94 feet. Why aren't you picking up your guy wherever he's at on the court? It may not always be 94 feet, but are you picking up your guy wherever you're at on the court? Now, in fast breaks, of course, they can't always do that. But he talked about, hey, in a set defense, we always want to be picking up. When they take the ball out of bounds, we want to be picking up as full court as we can there. So I'm curious to see how that's actually going to translate to the game. One of the things also saying, like after Monday, so they practiced all last week, Tuesday through Saturday. They had Sunday off. Monday, they got back in the gym. The energy was not there, and they started the practice. But then they started picking up. But what I liked was hearing that the whole team stayed after practice. Like, normally after practice, they might stick around for 5 to 10 minutes in the gym.
Yes.
not like in high school where there's another team that could possibly kicking you out of the gym and you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
But like, no, they stayed for at least 30 minutes after the game, and everybody was off doing something different at a different hoop. Like they were either talking to another player, talking to a coach, doing some sort of drill, doing some shooting, doing something. Everybody stayed on like afterwards, like almost like, yeah, we didn't give the effort during practice, so we're going to stay after practice and we're going to give extra effort here. If you have the opportunity as a high school player, like if you could stay in the gym afterwards, an extra 30 minutes afterwards, please do that. Like the
Man, I wonder
effort,
who you're talking to. Wait, you can't see me doing my bit. Dang it.
Oh, sorry, the camera's not working.
Wait.
So if you could stay after practice to work on your shooting outside of that and do your team drills, that is super important to not take the team, do the team stuff, and then put in your own work for that. Other things, Drew Eubanks had an interview. He talked about this being the hardest training camp he's ever been through.
Good.
He also talked about Neat Clifford. So Drew Eubanks, a longtime NBA vet, talked about Neat Clifford's really impressed him. He's always making the right plays.
Nice.
Which is kind of what we heard in Summer League, so he's doing the same thing. Dennis Schroeder got asked, new guy to the team, been on 10 different teams. Hey, what's different about this league or this team than other things? He's like, hey, the team is together.
Okay.
Which is because we had a new coaching staff, but a lot of the same players. And we talked about last week, DeMar DeRozan, same last year was our version poop show. No, this team's together. The coaches, the players, everybody is talking together. The team is working together. That's the biggest difference he's talking about here. Dennis Schroeder talked about Zach LaVine and DeMar picking up 94 feet. Like I've been kind of picking on them because in the past they're not always there, but sounds like they're putting in the work, and I'm very excited to see what that translates. Just like you mentioned as a player, if somebody's picking up 94 feet, that's just more annoying. Like you're not always going to get a turnover.
Like, man, let me just walk up let me walk up half court. Let me actually do something.
Yeah, like let me get into my offense a little bit easier. No, you make them work the whole game. That's going to frustrate them, and that's exactly what Doug is going after. So that's some of the notebooks I have there on the Kings. So that's your 10 minutes on the Kings here for today. And let's watch the first preseason game. And I think next week we'll have a NBA prediction show. Because in 2 weeks, the league starts. So we want to get our prediction.
And we're going to do our probably going to do a separate episode if we even have the time for it.
Next week we'll probably have just a Niners episode and a Kings episode, put them separate. So if you want to watch
and we're going to talk about the entire NFL season, like how we did the NBA season, like how we did the NFL season, who's going to the playoffs, who's going to the conference finals, who's going to the finals, what the awards is going to be like. Who are top five and who you think are the bottom five teams going into the season.
So if you want to watch some NBA content and you're excited about the NBA coming back next week, we'll put in a lot of effort to put in a good, fun, exciting episode. And like I said about the NFL, this is the exciting time where it's like, the
NFL.
We said about this about the NFL. This is going to be fun about the NBA.
Yes.
There's going to be some team that's going to come in out of nowhere and do something really good.
The Colts.
Like the Colts. I wish I would have said that as my surprise team of the year.
Yep.
You find out next week who my surprise team of the year is going to be.
I put the Texans in the playoffs.
So,
I put the Ravens in the championship game. Oh, man.
So, we'll find out next week what do we say about the NBA. Anything else you have to say to wrap us up, Max? And next week we'll do a little better job of getting our cameras working. Sorry, everybody, on that. A little technical difficulty.
Rest in peace, camera.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Again, if you're listening to this part, put a like and subscribe. Put a 5-star comment on Spotify. We appreciate every one of you listening to us. Shout out to all of our friends and listeners. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.